that he's picking on. He's picking on you. Or he's picking on your wife. No, that's he's at work. So why interrupt him while he's at work? That's what he does. If you didn't want to be part of the attention, you probably shouldn't be in the audience because anybody within that audience was free game.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I agree.
Here's what's crazy about it, guys.
Anybody in that audience was free game.
So Chris Rock actually confirmed he did not write the joke, and it was given to him by the writers.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting fired.
Yeah.
Somebody.
So people are like, dude, he was set up.
Right.
Shut up. No way. Oh, that's a whole different conversation.
Really?
So one of the
That's wait. How does that change your perspective? That's crazy.
well, and quite a lot of what they say usually is done with co-written with writers.
Yeah, for sure. But I didn't see that coming because I thought about that too this morning, and I for sure said he probably went outside of the norm, gave his the additional sentence, thinking it would be okay. But man, the fact that it was written, good googly moogly.
You as a celebrity, I think you have to. There is the expectation, to your point, Clifford, that everybody's fair game. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets made fun of, and if you look at all of the different jokes that even the hosts had leading up to when they started.
Yeah.
They were talking about different directors and they were talking about different moments, and so you almost have to step into that space, like when you go to a comedy show. If you're sitting in the front row, you're gonna get picked on by a
some people are more fair game than others, right? So
yes, I agree with that statement.
Like I know that I can be very open with my jokes with Tiffany, right? And Matt, not going back too far, you and I had a conversation about jokes just a few months ago, right? And we understood there's a line for you and I.
Right.
But for Tiffany and I, we're still trying to figure out that line. But in 2016, Chris Rock mocked her as well because she boycotted the Oscars because lack of diversity. Right? And she says, oh, you're just boycotting because you weren't even invited. Mm-hmm. Right? And then she says, hey, just keep it moving. So there's been a history between them. Who knows what else was said?
Yeah, for sure.
But obviously, if someone takes offense to a joke, you got to chill out, right? Maybe not the best person to joke about. So maybe he could have targeted someone else.
You feel like that he said something and it was clear that he wasn't really intrigued by the joke and then he kept going?
I think it's just been ongoing. I don't think this was like a one-time thing that happened. I think it's, hey, Chris Rock picks on Will's wife. That's just the thing.
I'll tell you, I really actually appreciate that perspective for sure. Clifford and Daniel, I'm married to, let me tell you, I have been in the comedy land for the last 13 years of my life. I have been to more than 300 comedy shows, and I'm very, very close to all people involved. And I respected the statement of the man is at work. And I agree with you because for a comedian, you never know. I think they're the only people or the only industry of people that they make a living off of being a gray party, right? They're never black or white. They dance near the line.
Right.
They light the lines on fire.
They have to push the line.
And they have to push the line consistently, and that's how they make their money. That's how they make their platform. And for good or bad, for me, it just is what it is. However, I do really respect what Daniel just said about the fact that he should have known better. Because at some point, I do feel like he had a list of all the jokes that were going to be said.
Right.
He knows him and Jada and Will have beef, or there's some type of beef. This is the feel-good event. We're all coming back from the thing. So why are you going to go there? I also say, wait, you don't agree?
No.
You're like, no, absolutely not. Clifford's like, no.
I think that so with anything, you build on what's going to give you that all factor, right? So he's going in where he think he's going to get the most bang for the buck, right? So if he has a list, then where is he going to go in at, right? So I think and who does it better, right? So he knows exactly what pain points to push, right?
Yeah,
so that's the name of the game, and so he's there for ratings.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, right? So they wrote the joke, but he delivered it in a way that got everybody probably like what that had anything to do with the backstory. So we don't know the backstory,
right? We don't know the backstory.
But probably people were like, ouch, right? But we all one thing we seen was the joke, and evidently it got the ratings. It pushed the pain point, right? That got a response,
Right.
and a response that took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, for
Now-
sure.
Right.
What I want to know is I want to see what happened. If you actually watch the footage of what was aired, you see Will Smith actually laugh at the joke.
He did.
And then,
Thank
and then,
you.
and
I
then
was gonna bring that
and
up.
then the camera switches over, and then all of a sudden he gets up. Now you see Jada upset by the comment. She rolls her eyes, but he laughed at the joke at first.
Thank you.
So what happened when the camera turned
Thank
away?
you.
Like, did she say something, and then he realized, oh, maybe I shouldn't have laughed, or maybe because
I think there's something inside of that, and I think that they're also in a new phase of having to, prove themselves to each other in their relationship. And I've got you, and
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. And so he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make the biggest scene ever."
So then, and then at that point, that's a decision to use violence.
Yeah.
For that moment, because he could have said something there. And here's the thing. He was from the moment that he decided, I'm going to get up and I'm going to address Chris. However, he made his mind or what he was going to do. That's a pretty long walk from his seat to the actual stage where he could have decided to do something different.
100%.
So he was committed to that moment. He was committed to scene one.
Yeah,
the
like
slap.
step 1, step 2, step
Right.
3. Yes.
And then to sit back down and continue, even when Chris Rock, when he said, "Don't have my wife's name in your motherfucking," Chris said, "I won't." Like Chris was like, "Okay, I'm moving
That's
on."
it. Yes, Chris was not like, "What'd you just do?" And he was like, "What just happened? I'm gonna
Right.
take a step back. Like my hands are up in the air, literally."
Like I think that's probably one of the most quietest moments that you've ever seen a group of celebrities.
No one knew what to do with themselves at all. But we didn't talk about it much, but Daniel said something really important where he talked about, well, violence is never the answer. So though I hear him and I agree with him, I said to myself at some point, like there is a team, it's called Team Doing Too Much. I felt like for me, this was an episode of Team Doing Too Much. And I felt like in some type of decisive moment, Will makes this decision, but with the weight of the responsibility that he has around the world, because there are children who are watching this, right? This is like a family kind of gig that you watch every year. I've watched every year for years and years and years. There are kids watching this. There are kids in the audience, I'm sure close by. And he makes this move. And then what makes me wonder or worries me is that on his way back down, he had no remorse. You get it? To open it. So now we hit episode 2.
Right.
Right? And he makes a decision to double down in it. Now, I'm not here saying if Chris Wright is wrong or right. Let's not even get there. But the fact that he doubles down afterwards and you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he has no remorse, because sometimes I'm sure we can all agree here when we've done or said something, we're like, flip. We're like, shit, I can't believe I said that. Doggone it. I shouldn't have. Or for me, I know I can think of 5 times where I went, oh, I know this is going to go bad. And I'm not saying that I back down, but I stop. I'm done, right? The moment's done. But I really am like, man, the brother kept going.
Well, I think it's to Matt's point, right? So that's like the 3-mile walk as you walked up to that stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it was the next table. He had enough time to actually sit as he walked to think about, okay, this is what's going to happen, right? So he contemplated that. He thought it through, and he followed through, right? So, but what he didn't know is how Chris was going to respond, right? So I think when Chris didn't respond, he didn't know how to carry that through then,
because he realized he was by himself.
Right.
Yes.
So when Chris didn't respond, then it was like, well, shit, I think I just fucked up.
Yes.
Yes.
Literally, yes.
But
Yes.
so there really is truly a scene 3 to all of this when Will actually won the award and he went and he did his acceptance speech. He apologized to the Academy. He apologized to the fellow nominees, but he never apologized to Chris. So
That's bananas.
So once again, he is in his mind, he's right in what he did. He made the right decision.
I think, it's kind of like I said to you during our event, I whispered to Cliff maybe 3 days ago, you really got to read the Will Smith book, because I just read the book myself, and I found myself the second half of it struggling with him as a person, but I really enjoyed the book and I learned a lot from it. But what was real for me was this sense of entitlement that I had never seen any celebrity, and I'm very close to celebrity land. I've never seen it. It was like an ego that I just couldn't, that could never be satisfied. And it reminds me of a part of in the book, he talks about the fact that him and Jada are like in their spaces, and I believe it's her birthday's coming up. So he makes a decision. He's like, I know I'm going to be the world's hero, and I'm going to make her a birthday that she'll never forget, kind of a thing. So he flies in like all her family members. He creates like a whole cinematic movie that shows her whole life. And it's like the perfect experience. But at the end of it, during the whole experience, she's stone-faced and straight-faced. And the day of awesomeness, the movie, the dinner that's falling from the sky, she kind of ends her day, gets up, says nothing to him, and goes back to the hotel room. But he is looking for, you're the hero. They go back to the room, and she basically explains to him, this entire time you've missed the whole point, you know?
Right.
And he's like, you're crazy. I just spent the last X amount of time and dollars and thinking of making you making the best, blah, blah, blah. And inadvertently she says, no, you didn't do that for me. You didn't do this whole event for me. It was amazing. And I'm glad my whole family's here. And you did a cinematic movie of my life since before I was born. But you did this for you. Mm-hmm. Part of me watched that yesterday and thought to myself that he did it for himself.
No. I think men just can't win. I think we just can't win. I defend a woman's rights. How dare he slap another dude? I do an awesome party. Oh my gosh, you did it for yourself. At what point?
I don't think that was defending a woman's rights, right?
Do you think that was defending? Do you really truly say to yourself that was defending?
Not her rights, but think about how often we say, "Oh, chivalry is dead."
Okay,
right?
so you're saying he should have
defended
her?
No. I think he should have spoken up. I don't think he should have slapped her.
So you do think he should have spoken up?
Right. I don't think he should have slapped him.
Okay, hold on. So this is a different perspective. So I just want to be clear. So you're saying actually that he should have spoken up?
Yeah.
For sure. You feel like the comment was appalling?
Yeah.
Okay, you feel appalled by the call.
There's a lot of things I make fun of, right? I like to do like what is it called? It's called injury insults. No, insult comedy.
Yeah.
Okay, insult comedy. I love it. I love it so much. But I know there's certain things I don't go for. I go for things you can't change. You have no control over, right? Or if you have a dietary restriction because it'll kill you. I will never joke about that because there's nothing you can do. I would never joke about your height. Like,
right.
What are you going to do? Just like will yourself taller?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I get that.
But I joke about things that are in your control. Like if like your sushi is vegetarian, but you love sushi. It makes
or two different
sense.
colored socks. No, it does make sense.
You
be quiet. You be quiet.
Or two different colored socks, right? Mm-hmm. Or I don't eat chicken with bones in it, but I eat normal chicken. It makes no sense. I wouldn't make fun of that, right? But it doesn't make sense to make fun of something somebody can't control. So that's where I kind of draw the line where sure, like insult comedy is hilarious, right? But when you attack somebody's wife, like insult Will all you want, right? Insult Will all you want, but don't insult his wife, who's not even a nominee. She's just there attending with him, you know?
I hear you.
Well, yes and no, right?
I'm about to insult you right now, Clifford.
Just don't talk about the cowboy hat.
Even that goofy hat.
Hey, I'm used to being insulted, right? I'm a black man in America.
You know, I know that's right. No, listen.
Come on.
So look, given I think you gotta take the good with the bad, and that the family in general, right? It's no their family lifestyle, right? Is totally different from most.
Clifford's going there.
And so when you open the door,
come on,
and let people into your private world, right? And so none of that's a secret, right? So where do you draw the line? And so now you can't come back for that,
right?
And so now everything is kind of fair game, and so you can't get mad, right, when somebody comes at you, because everything's fair game. You put it out there. I didn't go get it.
Right.
You put it out there. And so when you put it out there, then everything is fair game. And so I look at it as, in that moment, are you mad at Chris or are you mad at yourself? Right? So who are you really angry at? Because now you're having to double down on something that you're sitting back and you're like, well, shit, man. You know, I got my wife here. She's not happy, but the joke was funny, right?
Everybody's like, yeah, it was.
But he knew at that moment that just saying something to Chris was only gonna make it worse, right? Because Chris, at that moment, if you had said something, only thing he was gonna do is take it and twist it up, right, and give it right back to you, right. So how can you defend that? You can't.
Yeah.
Right.
So he had to take it to a whole nother level, right? And to a level, I think that given that we become kind of contradictory to what we stand by. We sit back and we say, okay, well we shouldn't allow violence, right? We should go black on black, right? We talk about the young kids and how they're acting and on the streets and different things, but in that moment, he did the exact same thing that he talked out against.
Right.
I mean, Will.
Right.
For sure.
So
100%.
now everybody's sitting back like, well, man, you're not so different than us, right?
I agree. 100%.
So the comment that was made was, stop being violent in women's name. That was not defending us. That was you defending your ego.
Who said that? Who said that?
Wait. So there's a woman.
This is a woman.
Said that?
This is a woman. This is off of the. This is a Facebook.
Just a random woman?
No, this is somebody.
Okay, you know what? Read her name.
Okay, this is Julie Long, who's part of our community of Do the Damn Thing, and
Great job, Dave.
and
Great
her
job, Daniel.
her comment says, "Stop being violent in women's name. That's not defending us. That's your ego you're defending. That is causing us more pain, more problems that we have to deal with." At the Oscars last night, Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett's baldness. It was in poor taste and out of line, but it was clear that the joke hurt her. She has alopecia and has shown great courage in talking about it in the world where a woman's hair, especially a black woman's hair, is a big part of their identity. Instead of comforting her, calling out Chris Rock for joking about her alopecia, Jada's husband chose violence to defend her. Instead, what her husband did was multiply her pain and amplify her ridicule to a global level. Why? To soothe his own ego.
That's a whole statement, though.
That's
a whole statement.
We've been. This is not like the first time a guy has done this, though. Like it's been throughout the entire history of humankind.
You mean like over a woman, or you mean just in general?
No, over a woman, right? Like Helena of Troy, right? A dude literally invaded an entire city and murdered everyone because of his wife. So it's like at the end of the day, I'm thinking, okay,
well, let me
a
respond.
rich dude slapped another rich dude over a rich woman. Like, really, do we need to care that much?
But
now that I'm sitting here in this conversation, like, do we really need to care this much?
And here's the thing, like, it has completely distracted everything that's truly going on
If
and the
Will
most important
Smith
in the
smacked
world.
me, I would be grateful. You know? I'd be like, guys, I was just smacked by Will Smith. That was incredible.
Even Chris said that.
Wait,
I
for
just
what
got the
I
reason?
would
smack.
let anyone smack me except for Chris. Chris Brown, that is.
Oh.
That's funny. I'm gonna give you that one. That was good.
Was good. Oh, that is so good.
But you look at Will and
Look, do you agree or disagree with this statement?
I agree.
You agree?
Yeah.
I gotta go back to what Daniel said about what does a woman want? Being a woman, let me tell you this.
Because you have a vagina.
I have one.
Yes.
And I use it and know its effectiveness. And the reality is that I love the fact that he defended her.
Mm-hmm.
Forget how and what. I guess maybe it's culture or where I'm from. Like, I listen to that and I hear her. But the part that loses me, it's like, dismantling a woman's voice and such and such and such and such. And for me, I'm like, go burn down the city on my behalf. I know that sounds crazy, but maybe that's just how I'm raised or where I'm from. Now, do I say that I mean, would I have been like, go do something about that, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't think I would have gone there.
You just slapped me, by the way.
I did slap you.
Yeah.
I think we're all in I think this is a new phase that we're entering in, and I'm really sorry ahead of time. Okay. So, but the truth is that when she starts to talk about a woman's voice and bringing it to a global level, if he would have turned to me, here's the truth. If he would have turned to me and consoled me and not said something, I would have been upset. If he would have just turned in this private place, and maybe you understand where I'm coming from, but like, I don't know if that's hood shit. I'm not sure where that comes from. But honestly, I'm like, if he would have been like, I'm so sorry, honey, that happened to you. And I don't know. I don't know that I'm expecting him to go on the stage.
Right.
And I don't know that the answer is, I don't think I know that's not the answer either, because there are children, like, it's bad. All of the things Will Smith did is bad, period, end of subject. And I do believe his ego's in place. But if the man didn't defend me, maybe not instantly, but in my mind, I'm like, just wait till the after party. You know what I mean? Like,
or wait till you had the actual stage when he won the award. Like, that would have been the opportunity to go through and to say something.
But to say something is different. I'm from the hood. Like, of some words like, hey, you shouldn't have said this about my wife. I'm telling you right now.
But I think that there was plenty of opportunity to address that, right? It didn't have to be addressed right then.
Correct. For sure.
All right, so I mean, as many opportunities as Chris Rock went backstage, he could have got up and went backstage and
met him back there.
And they
sure.
could have handled that out.
For sure.
Right? So it didn't have to be a public display, but it was meant to be, because now you're compensating for something else.
So to that point, looking at everything that Will has been going through recently, he's got his book that came out. Their family is very public. He was extremely emotional during his acceptance speech, like crying all the way through it. Like, to me, that speaks to there's something more that was there.
You got to read this book. You got to read his book.
So I have the audio that I just started. I'm only on chapter 3, but there's so much more. And when he talks about
it's pain,
the calling that God has got, I love the words that Denzel gave him. The comments of, when you are at your highest, that's when the devil hits.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for 2 minutes, because I know for myself, there's a handful of times where because when I'm mad, I'm mad. Or when I'm upset, I'm upset. And some might consider me blind. I'm not blind to all of the things that are happening, but let me play devil's advocate and say, is it possible that he just couldn't see during that chapter period of time, and then his bucket of remorse was when he got to best actor?
No, because he wasn't even remorseful then.
Because he didn't say anything about Chris. All right, I give up. I'm done. I tried. I was trying.
I think that there's a sense of, I go back to the sense of privilege, right? Because in that moment, what gives you the right to go, one, to interrupt what they had going on, but to then you go and you strike Chris Rock right there on national TV, right? So what gives you the right to even do any of that, right? So
like ruin it for everybody, kind of a thing.
Well, you run it. Not only that, but now you fall back into the stereotype. Now,
so you're mad from a black man.
All those years that we've been fighting to try to get to a point. Now that you got people sitting back saying, yeah, there go them N-words again, right?
Black on black crime, I'm telling you.
Right. So I think we have to be careful with that, right?
Yeah.
Because you hit a level and you become a crossover, but then
did everybody understand that word? You guys aren't even ready for that.
So
yes, a crossover.
So but then now you set us back. Now everybody now you got the rest of the community, right? Now you got the rest of the actors going back and saying that, and they got to defend that bullshit, right? So now they got to clean it up for them. Everybody else got to have to come out and clean all this up. Right, because he can't clean it up.
Right.
So I love, what's really neat about even just having this conversation, you're coming from the perspective of a black man.
Right.
You're like, you just fucked it up for all of us. Thank you very much, Will Smith, right? And what's really fascinating is that in leadership, and not to bring this to a leadership conversation, but at all times, the leader has to be reminded and remind themselves that they are the leader. Because the truth of the matter is that there are so many people around the world who were in love with Will Smith. They saw this moment, and now they have almost written him off in some capacities. They have judged him till forever. I'm not saying he will never come back. That's not what I'm saying.
Right, no, he's
but
Will
the love
Smith.
and the leadership that I don't know.
His next movie is going to sell out. I promise you.
Yeah, like.
People forget so fast. What happened to COVID? Literally, he slapped Chris Rock. COVID ended. What happened to the war in Ukraine? It's gone. It's gone. They literally are talking about ceasefire talks because they're like, shiz. If they send Will over,
Yes, for sure.
Will meets Putin, it's over. You see what I'm saying? The world forgets. We love instant stuff. And so the moment there's something new in the news cycle, we just move on to something else. So all we got to do is just wait till Matt does something stupid and we're all going to forget about what. That's it.
That might come sooner than
That's
you
it, guys.
expect.
Give it 48 hours.
You know what? I would agree in some aspect, but I think that this went viral so quick and so fast that we have to be careful, right, on what we do and don't do as a society, as a culture, right? Because what it allows to happen is that it allows for a different conversation to be had, right? So we're strong pushing about Black Lives Matter,
Or we're going backwards.
right?
We'll
And
take a
then
step
all of a
back.
sudden now national TV does it really matter?
You know, it's funny. I didn't even see it like that, but that's an interesting. All this conversation we've had all the last 3 days, I actually have not seen it like that in terms of black on black crime or what that means to the black community. And more importantly, you're right, because he is a crossover, he has a responsibility. And it's funny because for me, even in my industry, the amount of black people who come up to me and have over the years and have reminded me that I'm a crossover. And so therefore I have this responsibility and that and that and that. I actually do 100% silently take it with me every time I open my mouth. That and that alone, that's like a different level. But it's a different level of responsibility. It's a different level of like, what were you doing? And, you know, how could you? And though I do believe he should have defended him, I don't know that in any capacity could he be blind enough to disregard his responsibilities, because I can't think of a time from the stage. I've literally been thinking, like, has there been a time from the stage that I created a moment that I couldn't turn back from, or that I was so blind to what was happening that I can't. And granted, I don't have the platform like Will Smith does by any means. However, I'm on stage in front of thousands of people in any given year, and however many people reach online, and there's just no way there's no way. It's not that I'm not going to do it, but I'm not going to ever forget the leadership kind of flag, badge, card, whatever it is that I carry as a crossover to do that.
And that goes
For
to
sure.
anybody in whatever industry that they're in that has a voice, that has a platform. Like, you have a responsibility as a leader.
Say that.
And
You
you
have a
do
responsibility.
have a responsibility. You have people that are watching, and not only the people that have you have a responsibility to the people that have fought the way for you to get into your place. Our ancestors that have fought to get you a seat at the table or to create a path. You have a responsibility to the work that they did, but you also have a responsibility to the people that are watching, that are being inspired by you, that are looking to you for the answers. He not only did that
And are spending money towards the things that are part of your business, your world, and your life.
he not only impacted the black community, he impacted males, looking at male on male violence, but he also, the industry himself, the actors and the profession. He knows what's supposed to happen at those award ceremonies. He knows that this is live television. He knows that they're going to be like,
He knows the rules.
Yes.
Yeah, but you also think about, he just came off a movie that was about 2 young black women abused and taken advantage of in the Americas. Do you see what I'm saying?
But
So like he sheds a brand new light about black women, how no one stands up for them, right? Malcolm X said the most neglected person in the United States is a black woman.
It's a
Right?
truth. It's a fact.
And then he just finishes this whole movie about it, and all of a sudden, guess who's getting destroyed? His wife, who is a black woman. And so you have to think about, it's also...
But the movie is about a father who
destroyed, though? Was she destroyed? Do you?
No,
I'm
no,
just
of
playing
course,
devil's advocate.
of course not. But like I said, I don't think that was like the tipping point.
So
I
for you,
think it
you're
was the
like-
tipping point. I don't think it was like the entire bucket of water.
So for you,
right?
you're like, it's just the fact that he tapped at all. Like, don't tap in that direction. There's already history and beef.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's like
don't
it's
go
like,
there. Don't
it's
do
like
it.
For me, I'm pretty fine with a lot of things, but there's like certain words to me that just trigger me, right? Like calling someone gay. It's like, dude, you know what? You using it wrong, but whatever, right? But then you call someone like FAG, and I freak out. Like I hate that word so much, right? And I think maybe because for me, it just there's like no good way to put it. I mean, that just comes pure hatred, right?
Yes.
And so maybe for him, it was something like that, where it was just like you could have targeted anybody else, any other joke, and then
I
that
agree
was
with you. There's
just
500 people in the room. You're like, just pick someone else who you
yeah.
don't
But
have beef
then again,
with.
it's the writers, right? The writers. If
But
if
now
it's true,
the writers.
That's
if it's
a
true, then the
whole-
writers should have been like, dude, maybe we shouldn't like joke about someone's autoimmune disease,
Sweet Jesus.
and maybe we can pick on
Maybe we can.
anyone else.
But I
Like,
you know,
why not? Like, they should have. There's so many. Machine Gun Kelly. Pick on him. No, he's the worst. You know what I'm saying? And he's white, so it's better. I don't know, dude. But come on, guys.
I hear you. I get it. I'm with you. I am. This was good. I had no idea that I was going to be so emotionally drawn in multiple directions over Will Smith or Jada or any of the above.
You know what's funny is everybody was so worried about Kanye showing up at.
Shut up.
They're worried about what Kanye would do.
Stop. That is hilarious.
Kanye's just smiling. Over
Right.
there. He's just like, That's right.
For the record, I just want to say this so that it's here. As a black woman, I will tell you, there's like one sentence inside of that comment that you read that I go, I get that. I don't know that Jada's voice was silent, but I do think that for Chris Rock, stay with me on this. For Chris Rock, being a black man, he has a second, third, or fourth responsibility for me to support a black woman. And even if he doesn't know how or why she got there, he does know that she is a bald black woman. And as crazy as it sounds, I feel like in himself, in that role, even if he is asshole city USA for everybody and all else, I definitely think he should have stayed away from it. I feel like he should know better, because the truth is that E.L. Smith, right? He's a comedian. He would never, in a gazillion years, he would never do it. He would know better, because I listened to him talk, because, he's on stage with like Tony Rock. He's on stage with so many people in LA. And as I'm listening and thinking here, I'm like, what's so real about this? He would have think of it like,
Right.
like he would
His
have gotten
bumper
to that
rails.
point for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, because he would know that no matter what, one, it's wrong, it's not going to fly, and somewhere in the somewheres, that is bad. That's not good. And, and I think that's like a silent thing, because I'm thinking if someone had done that to me, not taking it to a global perspective, because most people didn't even know that Jada was bald. I don't think I even knew. I paid attention to it like that. But now, everybody's paying attention to it, and
Right.
everybody's talking about it, and she's at the center of the centers of a center of attentions. That's tough. I don't know.
So, quick follow up. It looks like this morning Diddy was in an interview, and he just said they asked
Diddy
him,
has spoken?
Yeah, they asked him all about what was going on, and he said that.
Wait, did they say, hey, what's going on? Can you tell us how this happened?
I think they asked him, is this going to be a problem, right, moving on? And he was like, nah, it's no problem. That's over. I can confirm that. He goes, it's all love, they're brothers. So apparently they both still showed up to the party, the Vanity Fair Oscar Bash. They both showed up to that party, and there's, I think, only 20-something or 30-something people that go. And so apparently they made up at that party there. And I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I do have to give props to how Chris handled it. The moment getting slapped and being very reserved, holding everything back, whatever emotion that he had. Obviously, he was shocked, but not reacting probably the way that he would have, because he realized he was on. He realized he was on TV.
For sure. Can you imagine if he would have reacted?
I'm telling you, pay per view.
Yeah. So listen.
I think it was shock to Will the way he reacted.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, to just absorb that and just pause for a minute, like, oh, well,
Like, what the fuck just happened?
yeah,
What just happened?
Yeah.
and then just move on, right?
Right.
So I think even given that, he didn't even give Will that satisfaction of when he kept that to your point, the second act, right?
Right.
He didn't give him the satisfaction to even engage that. He acknowledged it, and he moved on.
Right.
I also see that he's like a black man going like, I'm not involved. I didn't. He's like, I want no part.
It wasn't
he knows
me.
some shit's about to happen. He's
Right.
like, brother, we can't do that. We cannot do that on live. You know. I think that he was just like, no, hands off. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna save myself. Like you can drown in whatever this is. That's what I think. Okay. So I gotta tell you, this was so good, and I am grateful for the opportunity to just talk. My perspective has definitely been shifted a little bit. And I think in leadership, especially when you hear things that don't make sense or you watch something that unfolds if you're not involved, you have a responsibility to respond, right? So when you're building something and when you are a public figure, and you might not think you're a public figure, but as far as I'm concerned, everybody's almost a public figure because they have a platform.
Right.
You know, the second that you use a platform, anyone, whether it's something like this or it's on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn for that matter, or beyond, it's a billboard. You take a platform, you have an opinion, you have a voice. I now am reminded again about why it's so important to just have dialogue as a leader, because the truth is that as clear as I have been in my perspective about this, I now have, I hate to say it, but I now have even more supporting data thanks to all of you as to why I believe what I believe. It's the truth of the matter. And more importantly, because, you know, sometimes we hear a narrative and a perspective, and it's important for me, for you, for all of us to give the voice to the person who's thinking in their head and they don't know how to respond. And even though I love that woman, I say to myself, no, I don't take that exact same stance. And then it makes me go, well, what stance do I take? So, Matt Gill, Daniel, and Clifford Hughley, our wonderful, amazing client who agreed and didn't know how much fun he would have during this time. I got to say thank you. To the person who's listening, I want to know, what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts? For real. I want to know, like, was Will right? Was Chris right? Was it just a joke? Should he have punched him? Can you just tell me what you think about the slap? I'm really still bothered about this. I know it sounds crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a man slap another man before, because I think that's just a shock.
I can show you it again.
You know? So I know for a fact that you have an opinion, and we want to know what it is. So whether you're tagging us directly or you're tagging all of us, I want to know. I'm going to respond, and I can't wait to hear it. I hope that episode was amazing for you and you are closer to building the damn thing. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts were, what part you love, and the action that you're gonna go take, because the truth of the matter is that the person who wins is not the person who gets there first, it's the person who takes action first. Now, I've got a gift for you, and it is at www.strappedhustle.com. It is imperative that you run there and you see all types of goodies, starting with the 7 must-haves that you gotta put when telling your story. There is so much deliciousness awaiting for you. I would love nothing more than for you to go ahead and give us a thumbs up and a 5-star review on not just this episode, but this entire series of How Do You Build the Damn Thing. Like always, if there's anything that we can do to make your week, day, or month better, please let us know. And more importantly, I can't wait to see you live. Whether it's at Do the Damn Thing Live or in one of our communities, or maybe you're just hanging out with us on social media. What I know to be true is that I am meant to connect with you somewhere, and I can't wait for that day to happen. And more importantly, I can't wait to see what you build.